Hi students, I'm your private lecturer Mo. Welcome to the party that never stops, that is education, or as I like to call it, inspiration, wisdom, critical thinking, and having an open, independent mind to explore and investigate new and exciting ideas. So let's get going. In this video today, I'm going to be telling you about the 3 simple actions required to do fast, easy and stress-free paraphrasing. But before I tell you about those 3 simple actions, you need to understand what are the benefits of paraphrasing. Once you understand what the benefits are, you'll be able to appreciate the effort that you make while you're paraphrasing. So let's talk about the benefits. First benefit of paraphrasing is you will be able to avoid plagiarism. That's a big benefit, okay? You don't want to get done for plagiarism. You don't want to get caught plagiarizing. Plagiarism might seem like an easy, fast way to get an assignment done, but believe me, it's going to take up more time and more of your energy later when you're going to have to deal with it. You don't want to get involved with plagiarism. You want to avoid it at all costs. One of the benefits of paraphrasing correctly is to avoid plagiarism. The second benefit of paraphrasing correctly is you'll improve your grades. You'll impress your lecturer, your marker. It's going to turn out really well for you. You're going to see your academic language improve. That's the second benefit of paraphrasing. And believe it or not, the third benefit of paraphrasing is that if you do it correctly, it will actually allow you to have more fun while paraphrasing. That's a big benefit, believe me, because one of the worst things that you can go through is to do a really boring, dull assignment. I mean, think of all the other cool stuff that you could be doing. You want to turn that horrible, boring experience of an assignment into something more fun and exciting. Doing paraphrasing correctly will put you into that state of mind where you're alert, when your attention is there to look at things critically with interest. When you look at things with attention and interest, you'll actually have a lot more fun while paraphrasing, because you'll feel confident that you're understanding the literature that you're reading. And the final benefit of paraphrasing correctly is that you'll learn something new, and it's going to be really cool. One of the things I've experienced from paraphrasing correctly is whenever you learn something new, it feeds you. It feeds your passion and it feeds your interest. It's like giving you more energy and more hunger to learn more. So that's one of the best benefits that you can get from paraphrasing, is the hunger to learn. Because if you have that, then you'll be unstoppable and you'll be getting really amazing grades and you'll be learning really cool stuff. It's going to turn out really well for you. Those are the benefits of paraphrasing correctly. You'll avoid plagiarism, stress-free. You're going to learn something new out of the process. You're going to understand your subject very well. You're going to improve your grades and you're going to improve your academic language as well. You're going to have fun while doing this. And those are the benefits that I know of from my experience. There are probably a lot more. Now, students, before I tell you about the 3 simple actions of paraphrasing, you might be wondering, paraphrasing is not really that important. It's a bit boring. Could be doing something better with my time. I don't have time to learn paraphrasing. I just want to get the job done and get it over with. No. Paraphrasing is the fundamental building block of learning. Without paraphrasing, we wouldn't be able to explore and invent things. We wouldn't have cars, we wouldn't have inventions, we wouldn't have research. There would be a lot of things that we wouldn't have in society if it wasn't for paraphrasing. So what am I saying? I'm saying that paraphrasing is the process of how you explore and investigate and try out new ideas with a new perspective, with a new mind. The idea of paraphrasing is looking at existing literature and existing research and looking at that research and understanding it and reading it, but then paraphrasing it into your own words and looking at that subject from your own perspective to learn something new. That's paraphrasing. Okay, students, so the moment you've been waiting for, what are those 3 simple required actions for fast and effective paraphrasing? Well, action number 1 is reading. Yes, reading. You've got to do a lot of reading. You need to read and understand your source. Now, you've got to remember, this is very important, that if you do not understand the source that you're reading, forget about paraphrasing it, because you'll only end up making loads of mistakes. Action number 1 is reading and understanding your source, because once you understand your source, you'll feel more confident and ready to paraphrase it correctly and accurately. And remember, with action number 1 of reading, first of all, you need to read the correct sources, because a lot of students, from my experience, they read the wrong books. So you need to have a look at the recommended reading list that you've been given from your lecturer. Read the correct sources, first of all. Secondly, in action number 1 of reading, you need to learn how to navigate the books that you're reading. You need to have a look at the contents page, and you need to know what you're looking for. Once you know what you're looking for, you're going to be reading those areas in much more detail. Now, one interesting thing is, there are many ways of reading a source. Okay, there are many different perspectives of reading. I go through some of those different ways of reading a source in my book. You can check that out. I'll put the link in the description below of my book that I've published on Amazon. There's a lot more detail there, so check that out. The second action of easy, fast and effective paraphrasing is then extracting. Now, what do I mean by extracting? From the previous step of reading, you were looking for relevant information. In the second step of extracting, you are now highlighting keywords that are really relevant, keywords that you are going to use in your new paraphrase. Action number 2 of extracting means that you're going to be highlighting the keywords that are most relevant in the source that you're reading. You are also going to highlight those keywords, because those keywords are going to be your building blocks to build an entirely new sentence later. Because those keywords that you've just highlighted have got potential. They have potential value and meaning that you're going to be putting into your assignment. You've got to find those words, you've got to extract them. And sometimes they might not only be individual words that you're highlighting and extracting, but sometimes they might be whole sentences or even whole paragraphs that you might have to extract and highlight. As long as you extract the meaning and the concept of the literature that you need to paraphrase, highlight that and extract that, and then you can use it into step 3. The third and final action is then reconstructing. And the reason why this is the third action of reconstructing is because in step 2 you found and highlighted your key building blocks, your key words. So then now in step 3 you need to reorder those keywords, to reconstruct them into a different order. And one of the ways you can reconstruct your new highlighted keywords is by changing your language, changing the way you're presenting the information. And there are many different ways of reconstructing your keywords. Another interesting tip to reconstruct your keywords is by not only using a different type of language, but also adding something new at the end. Really good example would be having keywords like type 2 diabetes, healthy lifestyles, exercise, and maybe healthy foods. Let's just say that those are your 4 key words that you've extracted from the source. If the author has talked about those 4 things in that order, you need to change the order and talk about each of those things in a different order, in a different way. And then at the end of talking about those key words is by adding something new. So that might be adding your own opinion. It might be linking that information to another source, to another author that you are then going to paraphrase as well. So there are many different ways of reconstructing. Remember, students, with that in mind of what paraphrasing is, you've got to remind yourself that you are an independent thinker. You have your own mind with your own dreams, aspirations, thoughts and ideas. You've got to use your own mind to explore a subject and look at it from a different perspective and develop new ideas from your perspective. That's what you have to do. I hope you've enjoyed this video on the 3 simple actions of paraphrasing. Just an overview to go through those actions again. Action number 1 is reading. Action number 2, extracting. And action number 3 is reconstructing. If you paraphrase using those 3 simple actions, your assignment's going to look really good. Everyone's different, everyone's got their own different ideas of how to get those 3 fundamental actions done. But if you want to learn more about paraphrasing and learn more about the details of those 3 simple actions, have a look at my paraphrasing student guidebook that I've published. Students, thank you for joining me on this video. There will be plenty more coming. Ask me some questions if you want to. Share some of your experiences of how you've managed to get through a really boring assignment and you've survived, and you used some kind of really cool way of getting through and getting that assignment done. So share that with me in the comments below. Subscribe, add me on Instagram and on Facebook. Stay tuned. There's going to be a lot more coming your way.